Day 39 on Road to a Million, and it is, or has been, I would say, fairly productive day. Created 5 shorts today for the anime channel that I'm currently working on, and then one of my buddies reached out to me today and asked me what my lead magnet was and what I was essentially doing. And it's like I'm helping weebs through self-improvement essentially so that they don't have to live a miserable life any longer, because I was one of them. I was a weeb that was just sitting in his basement watching anime all the time. I didn't have any direction, didn't have any real friends or relationships or skills or anything like that. So I set out on this journey of self-development, self-help, meditation, mindfulness, yoga, fitness, journaling, reading essentially. Like, I set out on this path to be able to obtain everything that I wanted in life. And it's been a journey to say the least, but there's no buts. It was relieving to be able to tell him essentially like that's what I'm doing is I'm helping weebs like with self-improvement essentially. I'm helping them live better lives. So I didn't have that like I did, but I just wouldn't admit it. I wouldn't say it out loud. And that's the crazy thing like about this world that we live in is everything just seems to be connected. Like once you start seeing the signs, once you start connecting the dots, once you understand that there is no separation between like our thinking and the outside world, and all of that is really just a scam, everything becomes so much easier because you can realize that you have the freedom to do and be whoever you want within your own head. Like I'll tell you the story or the meditation, the vision that I saw today. Maybe I'll save that for another day. But I mean, it was really cool to see. It was essentially me opening a door to my past and me just running around as a child, and like I had so much joy and happiness and fulfillment, and like we were in a green field just filled with like it was incredible. And it was me looking down on my younger self and realizing that I had crushed him for so long, that I had suppressed what he actually truly wanted. And he went out and he got me the money, he got me everything that I ever needed, and I never once thanked him. Like I never once sat down and just thanked him for doing everything that he's done. Not once. And then I ended up going and grabbing mom, and yeah, it was a really cool vision experience, like surreal like feeling that I had. And I'm going to continue to let my inner man, my inner child, my inner self essentially just do and be what he needs to, because I think all of us need that a little bit. Like I think all of us, we kill our inner self because of the fear of what somebody else will do or say or label us, and that probably stems from trauma. And a lot of us, at least me personally, like I did that a lot in the past, where like I would let trauma control this little man because I didn't want him to come out, because I knew that he was like, he's always been me. He's always been here for me. He's always helped me out in every way that he possibly could. And I guess I just didn't want to allow for that to happen. But like when I finally did see him, he was so happy. He was so joyful. And I feel so sorry that I crushed him for so long, that I suppressed him because I was worried about what other people would think. And it's all because like when I did let him out before, like he was crushed. Like I was talking about yesterday, like with the t-shirt and the logos and everything like that, like he was crushed. So he hid. He went in that cage. But I let him out of the cage essentially. And I'm grateful that I did, because all he's ever wanted was love. I think it's all that we all ever want is love. We just want to be connected. We want to be part of one another. We want to have our family back together like we were when we were kids. And sadly, we can't always be kids any longer. Sometimes we have to grow up, we have to mature, we have to provide for ourselves and be our own parent. And essentially that's what I was doing for myself today. And it was incredible. And that's why like when I got the call from one of my friends, he gave me an idea like on what I could use for the lead magnet. I think he was essentially the last obstacle that I had to overcome, because I've been trying to convince people or ask people or convince people to quit their jobs and come work for me. And they're like, dude, I can't do that because I don't have anything to prove. Like I don't have anything to prove. I didn't have proof of concept of, hey, this is what we're doing. These are the people that we're helping. I can see it up here. I already know that it's true and it's already done. It's just without seeing it outside, people don't believe it. They don't see it. It's just people didn't believe the Wright brothers when they first created a plane. They're like, you want to fly in a metal machine? That's really what you want to do. They're like, yes, that is what we want to do. They had a dream. They saw it in their head and they made it a reality. Same thing with Bezos. He started selling books. Now, he owns multiple companies, bought the Wall Street Journal, has an Amazon Web Services software. He sells everything, employs other people. Like, he's created an infrastructure beyond anything that we had ever seen beforehand. You can also look at Musk. He was sleeping under his desk when he created PayPal. Then he stopped PayPal and he put everything into Tesla. And then Tesla almost bankrupted him. I think it was actually SpaceX. SpaceX almost bankrupted him. And yet, he found the success. He found the way. He found the money. Like, he created something that was beneficial and provided value to everybody else. So then he created Tesla and he created the Boring Company. And he also he bought Twitter. Like, he's done all these other things after creating the one thing. There's all these other people that I can name that have gone through trials and tribulations, and then they come out on top. Like, they are willing to lose everything because they know that the dream inside of their head is more valuable and will help more people, including themselves, because the first person you got to help is yourself, than anybody else ever could. Like, even look at the newest Willy Wonka movie. The guy just had a dream, everyone told him, and the movie's not even, well, it'll be out by the time you watch this, and I'll have watched it too by then. But everybody told him, like, you can't do this, you can't sell chocolate, you have to compete with all the other big dogs. And what did he do? He created something new, something that nobody had ever seen before. He incorporated new ideas into his chocolate. He incorporated new ways of thinking that people hadn't thought to do beforehand, because they didn't think it was possible. And that's what I hope you guys glean from all these other past days is anything's possible. It's just a matter of effort and I guess going through some pain, some suffering, some grieving, and realizing that that's just part of the journey. Like, that's just part of what you do to be able to have a successful life or to be able to live the life that you want to live. Because I know that if you've made it this far, you're not going to give up. You're going to make it one way or another. You're not stopping this time. Like, this time is different. This time is not the way that you thought it would be, or the things, like, you've done it 100 times before and you've learned something every single time. Like, if you realized how far you've actually come, like with where you were at, the handicaps that you've had, and you realized you genuinely took the time to realize how far you've come, you'd realize that you're miles, planets, galaxies from where you first were. It might not feel like that. It might not seem like that. Because I know I didn't feel that way at first. I've had to go through a lot. But it's led me here today. And that whole process, that whole journey, I'd do it over again if I had to. I'd go through this, and I'll continue to go through this pain and suffering, even though we don't have, like, I don't have to have it. I just know that, like, there's going to be some rough times. There's going to be some bad times. And I know that I'll make it through it because I've made it through everything else that I've ever done before. I know what I'm capable of. I've proven it to myself over and over and over again. It's just before I was thinking that I was fighting a lion when in reality it was a mouse. Like, I thought that my problems were bigger, and I thought that my failures were larger. My failures were larger than they actually were. Like, there's just, everybody fails. Everyone. Everyone fails. It's just I was never allowed to fail. Because in a sense, I was a gifted kid. I didn't think I was a gifted kid. But like when I hear what other gifted kids were like, it's like, yeah, I was a gifted kid. I never had to study in middle school, elementary school, high school, or even really college. Like I did a little bit in college. I just tried a little bit harder, but I still tried just enough to get by. So I never learned how to study. I never learned these skills until getting to college. And then I realized, wow, I really need to square up. And now that I have, and I've worked on myself, and other people have told me, it's like, yeah, you really have come a long way. Before, when my other friend told me that, like, I didn't believe her. Like, I knew, like, that I had, but I didn't truly know how far I actually had come until actually releasing the emotions on it. And it was actually a good feeling, to say the least. Yeah. So, there are failures. There are successes. There's not a fail and a fail harder. There's a fail and a succeed. And I'll fail as many times as I need to before I succeed, because I know that I'm going to succeed. That's why I make these videos every day. Because I know in my heart of hearts that I'm going to win. Like, I already have one. It's already mine, essentially. Now it's just me having to prove it. Not even prove it, but now it's just me having to make it here for everyone else to, I guess, see. Because I already know it. Like, I've already seen it. It's already done. And a few of you, I know you understand that. Others, you will soon. It's a journey. It takes time. And I'm rooting for all of you.